Hey there, welcome back to the channel. When your ex reaches out, it can feel like the calm after a storm or the beginning of a new one. Suddenly your mind races. Why now? What do they want? Should I respond? These are all valid questions, and the mix of emotions that follows can be overwhelming. Confusion may tangle with hope, frustration might collide with curiosity, and beneath it all, there's often a lingering sense of vulnerability. But here's something vital to remember. This moment is less about what they're saying, and more about what you've built since they left your life. Think about it. How much have you grown? How much effort have you invested into finding peace, setting boundaries, and becoming a stronger version of yourself? Their message, whether a simple "hey" or a heartfelt apology, isn't just a call for conversation. It's an opportunity for reflection. How you respond will define whether this moment reinforces your personal growth or pulls you back into patterns you've worked so hard to break free from. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't about seeking revenge, proving a point, or reopening wounds that are still healing. It's about you. This is your moment to rise above emotional reactions, to step into a mindset of empowerment, and to handle the situation with clarity and grace. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the energy you need to bring when your ex reaches out. Their message, their timing, and even their motives are all external. They don't control your emotions unless you let them. The fact that they've reached out may make you feel flattered, unsettled, or nostalgic, but here's the secret. You get to decide how much weight their words carry. You're the author of your story now, and this chapter doesn't have to unfold the way the last one did. When an ex comes back into the picture, it often creates a moment of reflection, not just for them, but for you too. Are you still the same person who once tolerated less than you deserved? Have you truly healed, or are there lingering feelings waiting to resurface? This is the perfect time to ask yourself these questions and remind yourself of one truth. You are no longer the person they left behind. You've grown, evolved, and gained wisdom that can now guide you to respond or not respond on your terms. This isn't about playing games. It's not about making them regret losing you or trying to rekindle what's already burned out. It's about stepping into your power with intention. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize reason over emotion, to focus on what we can control, and to let go of the rest. That's exactly what we're going to focus on today. Actionable strategies to handle this situation in a way that leaves you feeling proud of your growth. Maybe their message is a sincere olive branch, or maybe it's an attempt to test the waters and see if they still have a hold over you. Either way, it's not about them. It's about you, your values, your peace, and your emotional boundaries. So in today's video, I'm sharing 10 unique strategies to navigate this situation like a pro. These tips are rooted in Stoic wisdom and modern self-empowerment principles, designed to help you reclaim your peace, respond with grace, and protect your progress. If you're ready to transform this moment into a stepping stone for your growth, stick around. Let's dive in. Number 1. Treat their message as a mirror of their emotional state. When your ex reaches out, it's tempting to interpret their message as a reflection of your worth or the progress you've made. But here's the truth. Their message is less about you and more about them. Whether it's driven by curiosity, regret, guilt, or loneliness, their decision to contact you reveals their emotional state, not yours. It's a glimpse into their mind, not an invitation to question your self-worth. Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoic wisdom, reminds us, It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility consists in the good ordering of the mind. This means that tranquility doesn't come from external validation. It's cultivated by mastering your inner world. Your ex's words, no matter how flattering or nostalgic, are external. They do not define your value. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back and view their message through the lens of self-awareness. What does their outreach say about where they are in life? Are they seeking closure? Do they miss the connection they once had with you? Or are they simply testing the waters to see if they still have access to your energy? Their intentions, while worth understanding, are secondary to the real question. How does this contact align with your growth and values? This is where the practice of reflection becomes your greatest tool. Reflect not only on the message itself, but on the journey you've been on since the relationship ended. Remember the nights you spent rebuilding your confidence, the lessons you learned about what you truly deserve, and the boundaries you've set to protect your peace. These are the things that define your worth, not the fleeting interest of someone who chose to leave your life. It's also crucial to guard your emotional space during moments like this. When someone reaches out unexpectedly, it's easy to absorb their emotions, whether it's their regret, sadness, or longing, and let them cloud your clarity. But emotional absorption is a trap. As Marcus Aurelius taught, you have the power to control your mind and maintain your inner tranquility, no matter what storms arise around you. To solidify this mindset, I want you to take action right now. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am not defined by someone else's emotions. I define my worth from within. Say it out loud, write it down, and believe it. This is your moment to declare that your value is rooted in your growth, not in someone else's perceptions or feelings. Stand tall in your progress and let their message be a mirror, not a map, for your journey forward. Number 2. Don't fill the silence with over-explaining. When your ex reaches out, one of the biggest traps you can fall into is the urge to over-explain. Maybe you feel like you need to justify your silence, recount your healing process, or clarify how you've changed. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone a detailed account of your growth. Stoicism teaches us to value simplicity, both in thought and in communication. By resisting the need to over-explain, you demonstrate confidence and self-assurance that speaks louder than any explanation ever could. The philosopher Epictetus reminds us, first learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. This is a powerful call to be intentional with your words. When you respond, if you choose to respond at all, aim for clarity and brevity. Long-winded messages or oversharing can dilute your message, leaving room for misinterpretation or emotional manipulation. Silence or simplicity, on the other hand, communicates a profound sense of self-possession. It says, I've moved forward. My peace is intact. Consider this. When you explain too much, it's often a sign that you're seeking approval or understanding. But your growth isn't up for debate, and it doesn't need validation. It's yours, and it's real, regardless of whether someone else sees it or acknowledges it. By choosing not to fill the silence with unnecessary words, you reinforce your boundaries and your independence. Think of this moment as a chess game, not a tennis match. It's not about responding to every volley with a return. Instead, it's about strategy and patience. Speak when your words add value, and let silence do the rest. If they truly want to understand you, they will pay attention to the calm confidence in your actions and your restraint. Now, here's your affirmation. I don't need to explain myself. My actions and peace speak for me. Drop this in the comments and let it remind you that your journey isn't a story you need to narrate to anyone. Believe it. Let your confidence in your growth be enough. And remember that sometimes the most powerful message is the one left unsaid. Number 3. Consider what they're seeking and why now. When your ex reaches out, one of the first questions you should ask yourself is, why now? Timing is rarely accidental. People often reach out not because they've had a sudden epiphany about your value, but because of their own emotional circumstances. Are they feeling lonely, nostalgic? Are they looking for closure or validation? Or are they testing the waters to see if they still have influence over you? Understanding the motives behind their timing can give you a sense of clarity and prevent you from being swept up in their narrative. The Stoics believed in being deliberate in our actions. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Replace death with distraction here. Don't let this moment pull you away from the life you've worked so hard to build. By reflecting on their intentions, you reclaim your power to decide whether and how to engage, rather than reacting impulsively. Consider their situation. Perhaps they've been scrolling through old memories, wondering if they made the right decision. Maybe they've encountered challenges in their current life or relationships, prompting them to revisit the past. Or it could simply be that they're curious about how you're doing and whether they still hold a place in your heart. These scenarios aren't inherently bad, but understanding them helps you approach the situation with clarity rather than emotion. This moment isn't just about their timing, it's also about yours. What have you built since they left? Are you in a place where engaging with them aligns with your peace and progress? Or would it risk reopening old wounds? The key is to act from a position of strength and self-awareness, not curiosity or insecurity. Remember, their timing doesn't have to dictate your response. You're the one in control. Here's your affirmation to anchor this mindset. I see through timing and motives. I respond with wisdom. Drop it in the comments and let it serve as a declaration of your insight. Write it down and believe it. You've come too far to let someone else's timing steer your journey. Stay rooted in your values, weigh their intentions against your progress, and remember that wisdom lies in choosing what aligns with your peace. Number 4, don't reopen the door without checking the locks. Reconnecting with an ex isn't always a mistake. It depends on how you approach it. Before you consider letting them back into your life, take a moment to check the locks on your emotional boundaries. These boundaries protect your peace, your progress, and your self-respect. Letting someone in without ensuring those safeguards are in place can risk everything you've worked so hard to achieve. Ask yourself, are your boundaries strong enough to keep your peace intact? Are they the same person who left you, or have they genuinely changed? Actions speak louder than words, so pay close attention to what they do, not just what they say. If their behavior still carries traces of manipulation, disrespect, or inconsistency, the answer is clear. The door stays shut. Maya Angelou once said, "Never make someone a priority when all you are to them is an option." This is your guiding principle. If they haven't demonstrated that they value you in their actions, don't let your emotions convince you otherwise. You are not someone's fallback plan, nor their emotional safety net. Your worth is far greater than that. Checking the locks also means evaluating your own emotional readiness. Have you healed from the wounds of the past relationship? Are you inviting them back out of genuine curiosity and growth, or because of unresolved feelings or loneliness? The latter can leave you vulnerable to falling into old patterns that don't serve you. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to yourself. When you protect your peace, you prioritize your emotional health and well-being. If they can't respect those boundaries, then they don't deserve a key to your life. Here's your affirmation to reinforce this mindset. I protect my peace and unlock my door only for those who deserve it. Say it out loud and drop it in the comments to declare your strength. Believe in the value of your boundaries. They are the locks that ensure only those who respect your growth and honor your worth can enter. You've come too far to let anyone disrupt the sanctuary you've created within yourself. Number 5. Neutrality is your greatest weapon. When your ex reaches out, your greatest power is not excitement, anger, or any heightened emotion. It's neutrality. A neutral response shows that you've mastered your emotions and refuse to be swayed by their actions. This doesn't mean being cold or dismissive. It means responding with balance, clarity, and calm. Neutrality is a quiet strength that signals emotional stability and independence. The Stoics emphasized this mindset repeatedly. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In this context, their reaching out is an outside event. It's not something you can control, but your reaction is entirely in your hands. Neutrality allows you to take back control of the moment and, ultimately, the direction of your life. Neutrality is a shield against manipulation. When your response is measured and composed, it denies them the ability to read your emotions and exploit them, whether intentionally or unintentionally. If they were expecting either excitement or hostility, your calm demeanor will stand out and remind them that you're no longer operating from the emotional place they might remember. Neutrality also creates space for reflection. When you're not rushing to respond with overwhelming feelings, you give yourself time to consider your values, boundaries, and intentions. This pause ensures that any interaction aligns with your peace and self-respect, not just your immediate emotions. Imagine the strength in a response like, "Thank you for reaching out. I hope you're doing well." Simple, calm, and free of emotional charge. It conveys grace without reopening doors you're not ready to walk through. Neutrality isn't weakness. It's a declaration that you've moved beyond emotional dependence on their words or actions. Here's the affirmation I want you to embrace. I respond with balance and strength, not emotion. Say it out loud and drop it in the comments, friends. Let this affirmation remind you that calmness is a choice, and it's a powerful one. Neutrality doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace than proving a point or reigniting old emotions. When you respond with neutrality, you send a clear message. You've grown, you've healed, and you're in control of your own narrative. Number 6. Treat this as a reminder of why it ended. When your ex reaches out, it's easy to get swept up in nostalgia, romanticizing the good times, and forgetting the reasons the relationship ended. But instead of getting lost in their words or old feelings, use this moment to reflect on the deeper truths of why things didn't work out. What were the key issues? Lack of respect, poor communication, or simply incompatibility? Understanding these reasons and reminding yourself of the lessons learned can ground you in your growth and prevent you from repeating past mistakes. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." In this situation, the difficulty is facing the reality of why the relationship ended. It's not about blaming your ex or making excuses. It's about using the experience as a mirror to understand what you've learned about yourself and what you value in relationships. When your ex reaches out, don't get lost in the emotions of the moment. Instead, treat it as an opportunity to affirm your personal growth and the wisdom you've gained. This is not about closing the door on feelings. It's about staying rooted in your present self. Reflect on the patterns you've broken, the unhealthy dynamics you've escaped, and the respect you've cultivated for yourself. Let this reminder of why the relationship ended strengthen your resolve to never settle for less than you deserve. It's not just about avoiding the same mistakes, but about recognizing that you're in a much better place now. Don't romanticize the past. Yes, there were good moments, but they don't outweigh the reasons the relationship ultimately ended. You've grown since then, and each step you took away from that past is part of the person you've become. By recognizing this, you're honoring the lessons and strength you've built through the experience. Number 7. Avoid giving immediate gratification. When your ex reaches out, there may be an underlying desire for immediate gratification. They might want an ego boost, a sense of closure, or simply a quick resolution to their own emotional turmoil. But here's the truth. Your peace and emotional stability should never be dependent on their timing or emotional needs. The Stoic practice of self-restraint is essential here. Don't fall into the trap of providing them with a fast response simply to relieve their discomfort or satisfy their curiosity. Make them earn your time and energy if you choose to offer it at all. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wisely noted, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This doesn't only apply to anger, but to any emotional reaction. When we respond impulsively, we forfeit control over our emotions and actions. By delaying your response, you regain that control. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, give yourself the space to reflect and assess whether responding aligns with your values, boundaries, and the person you've become. Immediate gratification might seem tempting. After all, responding quickly might feel like the most efficient way to resolve the situation or prove that you're unaffected. However, this is a fleeting sense of satisfaction that can compromise your emotional well-being in the long run. The truth is, giving into this impulse often leads to regret or unnecessary emotional turbulence. When you resist the urge to react quickly, you create the space necessary for thoughtful, intentional action that supports your growth rather than reinforcing old patterns. This delay is also a sign of self-respect. By not rushing to respond, you're showing that you value your time and emotional energy. You're no longer at the mercy of their immediate needs or desires. Instead, you recognize that your emotional state is sacred and shouldn't be disturbed for the sake of their instant gratification. This is where your true power lies, in your ability to choose when, how, and if you engage. Here's your affirmation to internalize. I control my responses. I respond only when it aligns with my values. Write this down, say it out loud, and let it empower you to maintain control over your reactions. You've worked too hard to get to a place of emotional stability and growth to let someone else dictate how you feel or respond. Delay your reaction, honor your boundaries, and respond only when it supports the peace and strength you've built for yourself. Number 8. Shift the power dynamic without saying a word. When your ex reaches out, it's easy to slip back into old patterns of seeking validation or attempting to prove your worth. But you don't need to engage on their terms. In fact, you can subtly shift the power dynamic without saying a single word. Instead of focusing on their needs or emotions, let your response reflect how far you've come, showcasing your personal growth and inner strength. This shift in focus is about reclaiming the narrative and demonstrating that your life is thriving, whether or not they acknowledge it. Your calm, confident energy will speak volumes, far more than any word you could say. There's power in showing, not telling. When you answer with grace, you're signaling that you're no longer attached to the past or dependent on their recognition. Your life is flourishing, and their presence in it is no longer a priority. This kind of silent power is magnetic because it conveys that you're at peace, independent, and focused on the path ahead. This shift doesn't mean being arrogant or boastful. It's about quietly owning your progress. For example, instead of diving into a long conversation about your life or achievements, a simple, "I've been focusing on some exciting new projects and really growing as a person," can be enough. It sends a clear message that you're not sitting around waiting for them to validate your progress or determine your happiness. Your life, your success, and your happiness are in your hands. As the Stoics believed, what we do in life echoes in eternity. Your actions, especially when it comes to responding to your ex, will echo your growth and sense of self-worth. Every decision you make in this moment reflects the person you've become, not the one you were when you were with them. Let your response be a mirror of your evolution, not a reflection of your past insecurities or emotional attachments. Affirm this power for yourself. I stand tall in my progress. I need no validation. Drop it in the comments if you're ready to own this moment and shift the power back to where it belongs, with you. Number 9. Use their reach out as a catalyst for gratitude. When your ex reaches out, it can be easy to get stuck in a whirlwind of old emotions or rehash the past. However, this is the perfect opportunity to shift your focus. Instead of letting their message stir up confusion or regret, turn it into a catalyst for gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on how much you've grown since the breakup and all the positive changes you've made in your life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for transformation. It can shift your mindset and elevate your emotional state, reminding you of your strength, resilience, and progress. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." This quote is a reminder that life is full of beauty and growth, regardless of the struggles we face. When your ex reaches out, don't let it distract you from the beauty of your own journey. Their message is merely a footnote in the grand story of your life, not the headline. Your story is about the person you're becoming, the lessons you've learned, and the growth you've experienced. Gratitude shifts your perspective from what's missing to what's abundant. Instead of letting their reach out be a source of emotional turmoil, use it as a reminder of how far you've come. Reflect on the strength you found in your own company, the independence you've gained, and the personal achievements that have shaped your life since the breakup. Every challenge you faced has been a lesson, and each lesson has strengthened your resolve. By practicing gratitude in moments like these, you're reinforcing your inner peace. Gratitude allows you to detach from the need for external validation, instead focusing on the power of your own growth. It's about recognizing that the most important relationship you have is with yourself. The love, respect, and admiration you seek from others should first and foremost come from within. Affirm your gratitude by saying, "I am grateful for my growth, my journey, and my resilience." Drop it in the comments if you're ready to use this moment to reflect on your growth. Let gratitude uplift you and serve as a reminder of just how far you've come. Number 10. Recognize when to let the chapter close. Sometimes the most powerful action you can take when your ex reaches out is to simply not respond. Not every message deserves your energy or a reply. Silence in this case is not avoidance. It's a statement of strength, self-respect, and closure. It signifies that the chapter they want to reopen is one that you've already closed, and you're no longer willing to revisit it. When you recognize the right moment to let the chapter close, you're demonstrating emotional maturity and mastery over your life's narrative. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." The end of your relationship marks the beginning of your new chapter, one where you are free to redefine your future and build a life that aligns with your values and goals. When you choose not to engage, you affirm that the past no longer has a hold over you. You're signaling to yourself and to the world that you've moved forward. There is no need to dwell on what was. Your focus is on what will be. Choosing silence doesn't mean you're harboring bitterness or ill will. It simply means that you understand the importance of boundaries. Not all messages or interactions are conducive to your growth. Some are meant to pull you back into old dynamics, while others are attempts to seek closure or validation. However, true closure comes from within, not from external sources. When you let their message go unanswered, you're taking control of the situation, acknowledging that you don't need another chapter of that story to be complete or whole. Leaving the message unanswered can also be a quiet act of self-respect. It shows that you are no longer emotionally dependent on someone else's actions or validation. You've learned to respect your own journey, and part of that respect is knowing when to leave the past behind. The strength to let go is a powerful expression of your self-worth. There you have it, 10 unique ways to handle the moment when your ex reaches out. Remember, this isn't about them. It's about you and the life you're building. Drop your favorite affirmation in the comments. I choose myself, my peace, and my progress. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing insights. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and keep moving forward.